Speaking of a person who said she wouldn't date nobody 9 to 5, B. Simone. B. Simone, by the way, I love that we're using images of them at the Hollywood Unlocked Impact
Love it.
Awards. We're creating our own Getty account with all of our own
Okay.
events. Well, B. Simone is back in the hot seat in hot water with her fans, as she admits that she got sad and angry when her best friend was offered an opportunity that didn't include her. Now, in the same breath, she also tearfully opened up about her finances, claiming that she could no longer shop at Bloomingdale's and has to hit up H&M instead. The admission resulted in fans dragging her for filth again and digging up an old video from when she said she would never date a guy who works a 9 to 5 job. We just talked about that. You don't remember? Look.
He can't have a 9 to 5.
What? Why not? You don't want him to have an honest job?
I mean, he could be a hustling entrepreneur.
So you want him to be you want CEO status?
Yes.
Okay, he can't
So
like
he
can't
be, like,
clock in and clock out.
No.
Damn,
I
B.
think
Simone.
entrepreneurs should date entrepreneurs.
Okay, but still, there's people who have really good jobs with vocational skills. If he's a mechanic,
I'm sure, but no, you're not gonna understand my lifestyle. You're not gonna understand why I'm up at 3 a.m.
Damn, you're making this
you,
hard for me. Okay, all right.
You
all
know,
right.
he has to be an entrepreneur.
A business owner. He getting one of them stimulus packages from Donald Trump, one of them small business loans.
Everything I have, my dream career, I manifested it. I'm trying to manifest a husband. Ain't nothing wrong with a nigga with a 9 to 5. I get it. They work hard. I used to have a 9 to 5. Nothing is wrong. Nothing is wrong. Nothing is wrong. You work hard, you have money. I get it. I need an entrepreneur. I need somebody that understands my mindset. Somebody that has the same lifestyle. It has nothing to do with money, everything to do with lifestyle. Okay? When I'm in the bed at 3 a.m. checking emails, what you doing, babe? Working. What you doing? Working. Okay, love you. You want to hop on a flight tomorrow? I have a meeting in out of town. You want to go? You got? Okay, let's go. Okay, you understand my life. You understand what I'm going through. I want to manifest that. What do you want in a man? What do you want? Let's start there. What do you want? Let's manifest it, baby. You can have it. Whatever you want, you can have it. Manifest that shit. Ain't nothing wrong with a nigga with a 9 to 5. Ain't nothing wrong with an entrepreneur ass nigga. Manifest whatever you want. I want to manifest an entrepreneur ass husband. I don't care what you do. Entrepreneur, graphic designer, sell t-shirts, sell drugs, rapper. You could be a rapper. I'm becoming rapper, D-list. I don't give a fuck. Entrepreneur, okay? At this point, I'm about to rebuy my book. I'm about to rebuy my book.
No, we can't forget B. Simone is a content creator, and she does and a comedian. So she does create content to entertain people, but then she also has a podcast where she's vulnerable. And I think that sometimes people can't remove the person from the art. Sometimes, you know, I have said and done things that have gone viral. TikTok, go dig it up. And look, they are my thoughts, but it isn't who I am 24/7. I don't walk around my house all day talking about celebrities and what they're doing, what they're not doing. Am I lying? We don't. That's not a conversation that we partake in. We talk about booking talent for the show. We talk about who we're going to honor. We talk about, you know, we talk about what's happening in the world and in the news more than we talk about all this kind of stuff. So I can have an appreciation for separating the art from the person, but not everybody can't do that. Well, since slamming 9 to 5 men, B. Simone is back in hot water for seemingly putting down H&M and its shoppers. Here she is on the Let's Try This Again podcast. Listen.
Just my finances. Like the budgeting. You see how I am nitpicking every little thing.
Never
I've never been like that. We were in Bloomingdale's yesterday. I'm like, we have to go to H&M.
Yeah.
Like I notice it in me now, just nitpicking. And it's not even, I just don't have it like to spend the liquid.
What do you think?
I love H&M. Sometimes the H&M stuff looks 10 times more expensive than the Bloomingdale shit.
Does it?
Now clock that. It does.
Does it?
When's the last time you've even been in H&M?
Well, I don't shop there.
That's what I'm saying.
Wait.
You would never
But
know.
I don't shop there because and this is not shade towards them. It's just not a store that I find myself in. But I will say that after running for office, winning office, and being in the streets, dealing with real life issues with people, regular, everyday, hardworking people, Rob will tell you, I got rid of my big jewelry, my chunky chains. I started looking at like my closet. Everything in the closet is designer. I didn't feel guilty until one day one of my friends needed something to wear, and I was like, just go get something out of my closet. But you know, when you send your friend to your closet, you send them to go get like some sweats or everything is designer. They came down in Montclair. I was like, yo, what the hell? They were like, that's all you have in your
Yeah.
closet. And so I was humbled by that moment, saying, you know what, I need to start getting pieces that are just everyday wear. Wear what I want for the show, but get everyday wear. I'm going to save money. I'm going to be more cost effective. We launched the Jason Lee's closet, which I don't promote, but it's over there if you want it. And I did that because I saw B. Simone launch a closet. I did feel like the comments you said, they were kind of insensitive, but I understand what you were saying. You were in a place where you would typically shop because you had lived a certain lifestyle, and realized that you couldn't do it because your financial situation has changed. And so now you are being responsible and shopping elsewhere. That's what you were trying to say, but it did come off like you were just a little disconnected from, reality.
Yeah, and I think you can learn to wear a pair of Balenciaga jeans, but pair it with a Banana Republic t-shirt. It doesn't have to be head to toe all the time.
Did it last night.
Exactly. So you can, and to your point, I think a lot of what's happening with B. Simone is people are tearing apart every word she says, and they're not listening to the context clues, because she's just saying, I've had to refinance my life. And like prior to the prior conversation, I don't think she was saying, for instance, I don't want to date a man who works at a 9-to-5 because they're beneath me. I think she's saying, we've talked about this. She's saying, I want a person who can be on the same schedule as me. If I need to get up and fly out of town, I don't want a person who has to be like, oh, I got to check in with my job and see if I can do that. Because she just wants a level of freedom.
And I feel you.
Yeah, she wants a level of freedom in her relationship where they can be on the same page and be like, hey, let's go here tomorrow because I have a meeting. Hey, sorry, I'm up at 4 on my phone. You just know, they understand the relationship. And you've talked about that too, right? Like, it may not be, the person may not be on your level, but the person is in a position where you can be like, hey, let's go to Barbados tomorrow. And they can do it because you can pull them to a place where they can do it.
But that's why I do feel like B. Simone does get chewed up on the internet. And for the next thing too, we're about to talk about, because it's not really what you say. Like, nothing's wrong with what she says. It's just always how she says it just comes off very like insensitive and like offensive to everyone who's watching.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, listen, I love B. She was at the Hollywood Unlocked Impact Awards the other day, as you can see here. She's a beautiful soul. Yes. I remember when I started Wildin' Out, she was there, I think, a season before me, and then left and then came back when I started. So we did Wildin' Out together. We don't talk all the time because I'm very busy trying to run businesses in the city, but I don't, and she's doing what she's doing, and she's touring and all, and she's really successful. I think that everybody should reserve the right to like who they like and want what they want, right? I get criticized for having people who have a lot of time, right? But that when you date somebody who's as busy as I am, and you never know where. Yesterday, I was 2 days ago doing city council and all the city stuff and meetings here and at the county, and then I flew back and then went to the weekend concert, and then then I'm on calls all day for the city while I'm in glam getting ready for the show. So like I'm everywhere all the time, and people never really know because I'm managing all. I want to be in a relationship with somebody who can have the freedom to move around with me, but still have the ability to create and do things. Maybe they want to create shows, maybe they want to do fashion line, whatever. And I've tried to date somebody who has a 9-to-5, who I've said, I can help you turn that 9-to-5 into a business where you don't have to go to work for somebody else every day. We can literally lock it down. I help you structure your business, get finances, And it was like, you trying to control me? Well, look, I don't have time for those issues, but I think what she's saying is at least what she was saying there, that she that's the type of man she wanted. I mean, she's dated a football player. He passed away, but she's dated people who've had success, and it
doesn't work.
Yeah.
I just think that I just want to say too, these two stories next to each other, Kiki and B. Simone, is like exactly what's wrong with society and like our culture these days. Because Kiki's over here getting chewed up on the internet for saying, "Oh, I don't care if my man works a regular job."
Is she getting chewed up?
Yes, they're chewing her up because they're like, "Stop trying to justify you being with Darius." Like people are eating her up for that. Yes, I'll show you all the comments, which is crazy to me. So then they're eating her up for that. And then B. Simone's over here being like, I can't date a guy with a 9-to-5. And then people are like, oh, why not? Why not? What about the guys who would just work regular jobs? So it's just like whatever people say, everyone has a problem with.
Meanwhile, all y'all single and ain't got nobody.
What?
Well, in the same episode, B. Simone also admitted how she became envious of her best friend getting a huge opportunity. Listen what she said.
I have this opportunity and I called you and I told you about it. And you were just like, okay. And you called me back.
I called her right back, y'all. I was so convicted. I was so convicted.
You were like, I didn't like how I felt when you told me that. And I was like, what do you mean? You were like, I don't know what it is. I'm talking this out in real time. But whatever it is, I don't like what I felt. And I said, did you feel jealous? And you were like, I don't think I feel jealous.
Because we went through all the emotions. She's like, are you angry? Are you sad? Are you jealous? I was like, I'm not jealous because I don't want what you have. I'm sad and I'm angry and I'm upset that I'm not doing it with me.
Yeah.
Like, we're not working together.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have that. Y'all, let me tell you something. Anybody that's in my circle, I want to work with you. I want to put you on. I'm putting you in position. I like doing it together.
You do.
How can we do this together? How can we make money together? How can we build together? How can we grow together? How can we all pitch in together? How can we be millionaires I want to do it together.
Yeah.
And there was a point in my life where I had that and it was crumbled. So I feel like since that has ended, that season, I've always yearned for it again. But it's just been a season of solitude for 2 damn years.
Maybe the longest season ever.
The longest season ever.
Yeah.
And I think, I know that's what it was. But I was so convicted. I called you right back. I was like, that's not right.
Yeah.
Like, your friend, she just told me she was doing something so bomb.
Yeah.
So great. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, I was like, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
This has to get out of my heart.
For sure.
Like, what?
But if we just did that, nobody's looking for the perfect friend.
Man.
I just want my friends to be aware.
And honest.
Listen, I have to say, I appreciate an honest conversation and being that vulnerable. Now, I will say, B. Simone did have another podcast with another best friend, and that one failed, and we didn't hear really all the reasons why on both sides. So you both can come here, B. Simone, you can come here, we can get into your tea. But, were you a mean girl? Were you a bad friend? Were you jealous? Were you a hater? I don't know. B. Simone has had trials. She went through the whole thing where she had a partner who created a book for her, and then somebody said she plagiarized the whole book, and it was a black woman, and it was a whole thing. And look, sometimes things happen in business, and I love the fact that B's been so vulnerable and open. She's now on Twitch, and she's switching her life away, letting people see her in real time, and she's a boss and a business person. And I just want her to be happy. But given what you just heard, was she a hater? Was that just a vulnerable moment that sometimes people find themselves feeling that way?
No, I don't think she's a hater. I find this happening a lot with actors, right? Like, I'll call a friend and be like, hey, I just booked this movie. And you can hear the pause where it's like, oh, that's dope. Congrats. Because there's always that moment of, ugh, I'm not doing anything right now. Ugh, I'm proud of you and I'm happy for you. Like, everybody, I think
in the meantime, what am I telling you? Pushing you. Go harder. Talk to this person. Network. Do this. Even when Tyler Perry. And this is why, again, like, you have to choose your friends and know, like, when you know you got people who hold you down. Rob, I was living in Rob's house as I was trying to figure shit out. I was home. I said I was homeless. Was I homeless? I was homeless. Well, I had a home. It was his.
You weren't homeless.
And all he cooked was honey glazed salmon. I ate so much salmon during that time period, y'all. That's why I don't eat salmon anymore, because he inflicted that pain on me all day.
You have mercury.
But I had a mercury attack. But what I will say is that I know that he's working to be successful in acting, and that's his life's dream. And now he's spending his time while I'm building mine. This was something I was building back then, and it's all coming to fruition. And that's why it's important that he's EP on all my stuff and that he's in the work and getting the experience of building relationships. But the other, last week or 2 weeks ago, I get a call from Tyler Perry, and I put him on speakerphone. I'm like, this is Tyler Perry. And we had a long conversation that I thought was just so amazing, because there's a big gap from the Tyler Perrys and the Oprahs and I'm not going to say Jason Lee's down here, but you know what I mean? Like, there is a gap between Black excellence and Black excellence, that this has a world that it lives in, and this has a world that it's lived in and lives in. So what does that bridge look like? And that's, but in that conversation, I was also thinking about the fact that my friend needs to meet Tyler. There needs to be this relationship for me, because what's for me is for me, what's for him is for him. And look, we even had the conversation, be straight up. We had the conversation of like, what is the plan when your career takes off and Hollywood Unlocked still needs to move forward? Like, what is the plan? And he's like, I ain't going to work. We're going to always be in each other's lives and support each other's dreams. But that gatekeeping, that being jealous, that haterism, that thing that happens and exists a lot in our culture, it is cancerous. But I love that friends can have an honest conversation and support each other, but also have a vulnerable experience for people to see. Because there are people who ain't always happy for their bestie.
Yeah. And
Jasmine Crockett at the award show said, make sure you're also hyping your bestie up. Anyway, go ahead.
No, for sure. Because I was going to say, like, a lot of people say, people want to see you doing good, but not better than
Yes.
yourself,
Yeah.
which I feel like is valid. But I just feel like with any type of proximity, it's just natural comparison and contrast.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like even with my friends, like most of my friends now are married and I'm like the first kid or the second kid. And I naturally have to be like, oh shit, am I behind in my life? Do I need to have a baby right now? Like what's going on? But I don't think, I think it's transparent. You're really good also at like bringing people on like with you and not like having people block blessings, because I've worked for executives before who don't want to bring you close to no talent because they know my light shines bright. So they want to like dip, like, oh no, no one can meet you.
But listen, for you to, we were at the award show and I'm walking and I said to Johnny, where's so-and-so? And Johnny was like, that person's never working with us again. That he didn't tell me, ask me. He just made it very clear. And at the end of the day, Johnny is not just somebody who's directing, editing, or whatever. He has a seat at the table I've created for my team. And we have a meeting every day where we all sit around and as equals talking about the work. And this department is talking to this department, you know, because everybody sees things differently and has different optics and has a different lens. But guess what? In order to make this ship move and the way, like the impact awards, I have to give my team a round of applause. The way we all work together, all of us. I mean, you can't do this and not value everybody's involvement. And I don't have to look and say, is Rob over there building relationships with Leah Daniels Butler? So what's for you is for you. And when you operate in a place of fear, that goes back also, I will say, to your relationships. Like when I'm confident in who I am and what I got, I don't look at my houses or my cars or all of that as, this is everything I got. It's just like, you got to live somewhere because your clothes got to be somewhere. Your dog's got to be somewhere. You got to eat somewhere. You got to drive something to get to places. And so I really look at it like that because I do remember the days. I was just telling the story the other day. I remember me and my friend Lee, when I left my partner and I went to not even a one bedroom apartment. I went to a studio apartment with a Dodge Challenger that had no tags. And I remember having $100 to my name, and him and I, because Lee was sleeping on the couch, and we were both like, how are we going to spend this $100 for the week to eat? Like, that was like a real thing. And so it's never lost on me. There are times where I'll get a bill, like Rob, I got a bill the other day for $397,000.
Jesus.
One bill. I had just spent $600,000 the week before. But I called Rob and I'm like, it wasn't like a huge conversation, even though I knew. I was like, cut this bill down by $20,000. Like, let's figure it out. I don't think he's done it because we have to figure it out. But guess what? What I know is if I stay focused and keep working and and keep relationships and keep a strong team around me, we're going to get another $397,000. So the money thing that people get caught up in, whether it's in relationships or partnerships or whatever, if I connect Rob to Tyler Perry and Rob goes and stars in one of his films and makes $100,000 or $1 million, guess what? I'm still gonna make $1 million. I don't lose nothing. So I think we have to get out of that. I mean, is that fair?
Yeah,
1,000%. And that's why I do feel like if you never clap for others, it will never be your turn to get up, like ever.
But still fairly too to be Simone. Like I don't think that it was a place of like her not wanting success for that person. I think like you said, like if you find out your friend is having another baby, sometimes you get that little pinch, like oof.
Yeah.
Like
because it's easy to compare.
You still get that little pinch, but I think that pinch, depending on the level of friendship. Like I know with you and I, there's never going to be a place of like trying to tear the person down or jealousy or not wanting the person to be successful. There are people who I know would be that way with me, but I know that I have friends who might feel that pinch, but I know they still want me to be successful. Yeah. You know?
Well, following B. Simone's viral clip, Charlamagne the God and Jess told Breakfast Club listeners that they fear she's becoming unrelatable and losing her fan base. This is what Charlamagne said about B.
B. Simone is planning to get sympathy from. And you know what's so crazy to me, Jess?
Yeah.
The people are the reason that we're in the positions that we're in.
Yeah.
Like, ain't she the stand-up comic, right?
Yeah, she is.
If your audience feels like they can't relate to you in no way, shape, or form, and they feel like you look down upon them because...
You'll lose them.
Because, exactly. Like, damn, B. Like, why did she even put that out?
Because there shouldn't be a disconnect.
No.
At all. And working hard people, like people that work hard and buy tickets, they the ones that we need. You know what I'm saying? We need them to keep buying tickets and to keep supporting us and to keep streaming our podcasts and things like that. So
working class people. So it's like, what are you willing to sacrifice now for your future? I'm sorry you can't shop at Bloomingdale's right now, and I'm sorry H&M makes you cry.
Totally agree with them. I totally agree with the perspective that you can't forget your fans. You can't forget the hardworking people. And that, I think, is why I went back and ran for office, moved home. I'm not wearing designer today. I'm not wearing a bunch of jewelry. I mean, people that are watching the story, at least my story, you're seeing all play out. Again, though, I do think the vulnerability allows her fans to see that who she is, and, criticism comes with this. Yeah, you're a comedian. Everybody's not going to always be laughing at your jokes. Sometimes they're going to laugh at you. I mean, when you're in the public eye, that's a part of it. So I do agree with what Jess and Charlamagne said as a reminder. I don't see that necessarily as bad criticism. It's a reminder that don't forget the people who built you are people that are important in this whole journey that you're on. Now, elsewhere, critics aren't only condemning B. Simone for not reading the room and seemingly coming off offensive, but they're also making memes and jokes about her Bloomingdale's to H&M comment. By the way, I don't shop at either. I shop at Neiman's. Oh, and I did wear Dolce & Gabbana to see The Weeknd, and my pants were not Dolce & Gabbana. They were purple. But purple jeans are $200. I know. They're still $200.
That's.
But listen, look,
you need to wear a pair of Old Navy jeans.
But purple's still not Balenciaga.
Find me a good pair of. Right. Find me a good pair of Wranglers. I will wear them.
I will. We're gonna go to JCPenney. I'm gonna swap the label and sew it on. You're not gonna know. You're gonna think they're Gucci. You're gonna think they're Gucci.
Listen, I will wear a good pant. I'll wear a good pant. I actually, before I get into this, the critics and their collages on B, is I literally found someone online who's so fashionable and they don't wear a bunch of designer, and I DM them because I want them to teach me, because having clothes and being fashionable are two different things. Mm-hmm. I want to be fashionable for the low. Like somebody asked me the other day, are you a thrifter? Absolutely not. And it's because I'm not going to go in a thrift store. First of all, thrift stores smell like thrift stores. I don't want to walk in a store. If they have a cologne counter and I can smell cologne, then yeah, maybe I'll go in thrift. Do you thrift?
No.
Do you thrift? Mm-hmm. Really?
Since I was a kid. Yeah, somebody just complimented me on my Bulls jacket, and I'm like, I bought this for 25 cents.
It stinks. I can't do it.
I can't. I went to Melrose not too long ago, and I went in a thrift store, and I literally walked in and walked right out because of how it smelled.
Do you know what you should try? Because I feel like it's baby steps for you, Jason. You should go to this place called Wasteland. And it's like a bougie.
It smells like mothballs.
Okay, let him experience.
Let's plan a trip to Wasteland.
Yes, we'll record it.
Wait, hold on. I'm gonna bring an oxygen tank.
Yes.
Stop. It's not that. You guys act like it's a sewer.
But at the end of the day, that's my choice. Okay, look at this is what people had to say about her things. Look at the collage. Okay, I'm at Dollar Tree. Checked my finances. Now I gotta steal. I booked an Uber. Checked my finances and hopped on that bus. Y'all, I went outside and realized I need to go back. I was at Walmart and had to go to Dollar Tree. Y'all, anyway.
Not She by Sheree.
Falling back on her comedic talents, B. Simone laughed off the backlash and had this to say, look.
I can't look at this word without. Oh, best dad. God almighty. Hey, I got fish, potato wedges, sauce, tabbouleh. My total is $24.14. Let's see if it goes through. Let's just see. Who knows? Let's just see.
Brokey.
Hey!
Stops do we have left?
We have 2 more stops left. We just left Jordan. We're pulling up on China and a young lady named Q. I don't want to pronounce her name wrong, but I can't think of how to pronounce it, so I'm just going to call her Q. And yeah, 2 more stops, and then we're going to H&M.
She also had fresh braids, a Louis bag, Versace glasses, and a car that was clean. Again, B is a comedic. She feels how she feels. I just texted her during the clip and said, come on the show so I can.
That will be a great interview.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Please.
Okay. Well, we'll get B here.
That would be cute.
All right. Well, listen, that is it. That's been a phenomenal show.